you know, a lot of corporations, many corporations are environmentally responsible and do the right things. Unfortunately, you have a corporation here that could care less. This county is an industrialized county. We value the jobs that the heavy industry brings here. But if you're going to walk away, you're not going to walk away with a pocket full of money to the taxpayers of this town and this county. Unfortunately, we had a oil refiner who decided to leave for an overseas, you know, to produce their fuels overseas, which you're seeing more and more in this country. But the bigger concern is the fact that they've appealed their taxes and want to walk away with $30 million of taxpayers' money without cleaning up the site. So what we're looking to do is whenever you have a corporation that ceases operations, that pollutes the property, especially this property, which is a refinery, that any money that you're going to come up with from a tax appeal go to the DEP to ensure a more rapid cleanup. Because the way the laws are right now, cleanups can last a very long time. So this way we're ensuring that funds, actually taxpayer money, is going to clean up the site in this instance.
You know, it's a shame for the residents of this township that had to put up with this facility for all those years. The pollution, the releases, the things like that, the massive fires that they've had here. The residents have had to live with this and put up with it, which they did because the jobs were here and people worked here and they understood it. But to have a corporation be able to just sit on a piece of property, not want to sell it, not want to do anything with it, and recoup their tax appeals, they put it in plain terms, they don't want to sell it because they would have to remediate it before they sold it. Yep. It's cheaper for them to keep a fence around here, and as Steve said, one employee here, and pay their minimal taxes than to make the major investment to clean this property up. And it's not fair to the people that live around here. It's not fair to the taxpayers of West Deptford and Gloucester County. And enough is enough. And our leadership is stepping forward with a bold move, and I thank them for that.
Well, anyone who lives near a refinery, as I do, I live in Paulsboro, comfortably nestled between two refineries, and understand this pretty well. There are issues with air releases, and there are issues occasionally with particles when we talk air releases, not just smell. Sometimes there are liquids released into the air. But people who live next to these places understand that, and people who understand industry live with industry because there's benefits to it. So there's jobs, there's tax ratables that go to the municipality, which helps keep the residential property taxes to a more reasonable level. So when you take away the jobs and you take away the contribution to the host community, and all that's left is tired land, because land that is the site of heavy industry takes a beating. And people are willing to recognize that and willing to live with that if there is an exchange of benefit. But when it stops, you still have the residual of the heavy industry process. And to put the land back to work to a useful purpose takes a lot of money and takes a lot of time. And there's a lot of loss during that period. And that's what the issue is here. How quickly can it get back? Who pays for it? And in this piece of legislation, the thinking is that if there's going to be tax relief given to this corporation, that the benefit of that tax relief should reside with the DEP for expedited cleanup of the site to return the ground to useful purpose, so it can again contribute to the tax base.
At the turn of the century, this site was actually an amusement park. It's then it became a refinery, and it's been a refinery for quite some time. And we've been through three corporations, Texaco, Coastal, and Sunoco, the most recent one. And the unfortunate part was Sunoco had interested parties in purchasing this site and chose not to because they didn't want competition on the river, and then chose to throw 500 families out of work for their bottom line. And I know they feel that their responsibilities to their shareholders, but when you pollute communities, you have a responsibility to the communities also. So this is going to be obviously a very, very important bill to me. I'm proud that Assembly Majority Leader Lou Greenwald and Deputy Speaker John Burzichelli and Celeste Riley are sponsoring the bill in the Assembly, and I look forward to getting it done and making a statement that you're not going to be able to run and hide. You're not, especially not going to take my money and run and hide.